Okay, folks, we actually let me take this. Let me pause this and take this off. I forgot to take this off. In the previous video, we talked about determining the slope of the line tangent of the equation at the given point. Now, unfortunately, we do have an issue from time to time, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Now, the definition of a vertical tangent line is as follows. The limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of c plus delta x minus f of c all over delta x. Now, if that line approaches infinity or negative infinity, then we have a problem. So, which leads us to determining the derivative of the function. Now, the derivative is as follows. And it's called f prime of x. So the derivative is f prime of x. And it equals the limit of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0, provided that a limit exists for all x for which the limit exists. F prime is a function. Now, this is the process of finding the derivative is called differentiation. We're going to be spending basically most of calculus on differentiation. And there are many different ways to simply write the derivative. So for example, I have all these right there, and I'm just going to circle this whole thing. So you have f prime of x, dy over dx, y prime, d over dx of f of x, or d sub x of y. And there are many different ways to write that, and you can look at those on your own, and we'll discuss those in the near future. All right. Now, we're going to use the limit process to determine the derivative of the following equation. H of x equals x to the third minus 4x. Okay. Now, I have placed in on Canvas a file that will tell you what the following functions are. I'm not going to solve them for you because you can look it up on your own. It's like algebra stuff for section 2.1. I don't remember the exact title, but it's on there and you can look it up on your own. So here's what you need to know. Now, you need to know that, and I'm going to write this up here, that x to the third, excuse me, let me rewrite that. You need to know that it is x to the third plus 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x to the third. You need to know that. All right, so h of x is what you see there. So h of x plus delta x is going to look like the following. It's going to look like that, which is x to the third plus 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x to the third. That's what it looks like. Now, f prime equals the limit of delta as delta x approaches, and I'm going to rewrite that again. Delta x approaches 0 of, excuse me, in this case it is h. I always want to put x. Or f of x. It's h of x plus delta x. And by the way, I did forget to mention minus 4 times x plus delta x. I forgot to put that there, so make sure you note that as well. So all this minus h of x all over delta x. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transport all this down here, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it in blue. So I got x to the third plus 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x to the third minus 4x, excuse me, minus 4 delta x, and then that whole thing is minus this right here. So it's minus x to the third minus 4x. Okay, and that's all over delta x. All right, so here's what happens when we do that. The x to the thirds cancel, and the 4x's cancel. So those two cancel. Look, remember, minus negative makes it plus, and then that cancels with that. So I am left with 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x cubed minus 4 delta x. Now, it seems like a long process. It's all algebra. See, and remember, as I've told you in class, most of what you're going to be seeing is algebra. And don't forget, I will post this. I will go ahead and post this on Canvas for you, so you'll have a copy. All right. Now we divide out the x. We divide out the delta x's, and we are left with 3x squared plus 3x delta x plus delta x to the third minus 4. Excuse me, that one should be squared. That should be squared because I forgot to divide it out. Okay, so now if we take the limit of this as delta x approaches 0, well, that's going to be out, and that's going to be out. So I'm going to be left with 3x squared minus 4. There you go, 3x squared minus 4. That's a long process, but that is the limit process. And you need to know how to do that, because if you look on there, and I'm going to talk about this in class with you next, when we meet about it, you are going to have an activity where you are going to have to team up, and you're going to have to present one of these problems to the class by video. I'll talk more about that in class with you. All right, now. All right, I'm going to pause this. Okay, folks, I'm going to have to come back to you and do a part 3. So for some reason, my computer is messing up, so I will get back to you here very soon.